Supreme Court Judge Justice Andrea Thomas has ruled that dancehall entertainer Vybz Kartel and two of his three co-accused should remain behind bars pending the decision of the Court of Appeal.
The court has ruled that dancehall artist Adidja, Vybz Kartel Palmer, should remain in prison because of this. You know what? Let's get into this story. Welcome to Jet. So first and foremost, before we get into how the court reached his decision, give thanks to Yahweh and Yahushua. Yes, man.
Carter's lawyer, Vybz Buchanan, pulled out a sneaky trick out of his hat to circumvent the legal process in an attempt to try and free his client.
Earlier, Jet believed that there is no legal justification in law until the hearing of the Court of Appeals June ruling if the artist should be retried for the murder of Clive Lizard.
He filed it under habeas corpus, a term meaning in this context a person should not be left in legal limbo while being incarcerated. In other words, Kartel should be freed because his conviction was quashed.
The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the ground of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Williams.
Jet agrees with that in principle, but it was done deceitfully without the knowledge of the DPP, and the court adjourned for further arguments and submission by both parties.
The court heard the arguments from Vybz Buchanan, the lawyer presenting the artist, and the DPP presenting the state. Jet did not expect this to be the decision because of the Privy Council's ruling a few months ago. Jet also accepted that there could be something in Jamaican law that would prevent this release, and it appears that is what played out in this ruling. The Jamaican court has now decided that the artist should not be freed and gave this reason that the Privy Council ruling is conditioned on the Court of Appeal decision and not a complete quashed, and we all should respect it whether you agree or disagree.
There was a habeas corpus application on behalf of Vybz Kartel, Sean Storm Campbell and Andre St. John. The Supreme Court Judge Justice Andrea Thomas has ruled that the dancehall entertainer and two of his three co-accused should remain behind bars pending the decision of the Court of Appeal on whether or not there will be a retrial for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. Justice Thomas delivered her judgment a short while ago. Now, the main issue which was to be determined today was whether or not they were being unlawfully detained, hence the habeas corpus application. The judges says the charges still remain and that the Commissioner of Corrections is not holding them in breach of their constitutional rights. In refusing to release the applicants today, the Commissioner of Corrections was also not, or the judge ruled that the Commissioner of Corrections was not acting in breach of the Corrections Act. She says that the appeal is not finished until the Court of Appeal decided on the issue of whether or not there should be a retrial. Dion, good afternoon. Can you just sum up for us what happened in court and why the men were not released?
Okay, well, I'm actually, the judge left the courtroom just a short while ago. I'm actually waiting to get a written copy of the judgment because she gave quite a detailed breakdown of her reasons. As you said, in short, Kartel and his co-accused will not be released before the Court of Appeal has decided whether there's going to be a retrial or not. So the judge looked at a number of issues. She started out by looking at the issue as to whether the decision of the Privy Council that their convictions had been quashed and that the Court of Appeal was to decide on a retrial, did that translate into an order for them to be released? And she decided that that did not, in fact, so translate. She looked at whether or not the appeal had been determined, and her decision was no, the appeal has not finished. It is not going to be finished until the Court of Appeal makes its final decision. Since the appeal has not been determined. Therefore, she said that the men are in fact being held lawfully in custody because the Commissioner of Corrections has not received any order from any court to release them. She looked at the issue of whether the charges remain and decided that, yes, the charges are still valid. So the men are still charged. Having looked at that, she then looked at whether, in fact, they would be eligible for bail. So she looked at the new Bail Act, and she looked at the fact that the Bail Act says that to be eligible for bail, while you're waiting for your appeal to be decided, you would have to have been on bail before you were convicted. These men were not on bail before convicted. She also pointed to another provision in the Bail Act that says that people who have been convicted for murder are in any case not in the category of people who could be considered for bail pending appeal. So as a result, they wouldn't be eligible for bail. She then looked at the fact that this was a habeas corpus application. Habeas corpus literally means bring the body. But bring the body before the court. It's usually used in circumstances where people are being unlawfully detained. And she said a habeas corpus application like this can't be used to circumvent the proper processes of the court. And that in this particular case, the only court who can make a decision at this time in relation to the liberty of these men is the Court of Appeal, because that is where the matter now is. So in short, Milton, to end as we began, no, the men, Kartel and his co-accused, are not going to be released before the decision of the Court of Appeal as to whether they should be retried or not.
No, it is a waiting game for the artist to wait and see if he will be freed or a retrial ordered. Jet believes the latter will be the decision. So, what is your view? Do you believe Kartel would have been denied bail? What do you think should happen next? Or what do you want to see happen next? Write your comments below, man, and let's have a discussion about this. For those of you who've forgotten to subscribe, please touch the like button, smash the subscribe button, and touch up the bell. And remember to share with your friends and family. So here we are going now. We are going to jet off,